start out with Sabrina Merchant, SB Nation.
Hey, Derek. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
That was fun to watch. I'm wondering, the change to the starting lineup with Sydney in place of Raquana, was that decided before you knew Taya would be unavailable, or was that sort of in response to it?
Kind of a combination. To be honest, we had really thought about going into practice yesterday. We were thinking about starting Taya, and then kind of when we got the inconclusive results and things changed, we talked about still trying to, if Taya was available, we would have adjusted the lineup. Raquana would be coming off the bench. And so we felt like sticking with that tonight would start to give us a chance to see how that would look with Raquana, Simone, Brittany coming off of the bench. And then we knew that Marie would be available for us tonight, and we'd see what she would be able to do off the bench as well. So we could really start to put a bench unit together that we feel like has good balance offensively and defensively. And so once Taya we knew she'd be unavailable. Sid was really wasn't like a by default, kind of charity thing. Like Sydney was really good for us in our starting lineup last year. So I felt pretty confident that when she would be out there with those starters, she'd be able to give us some great contributions. And I thought defensively, her energy to start the game was really infectious and helped us a lot tonight.
Miriam Swanson, LA Daily News.
Hey, Derek, congrats. Are you happy with the early energy? And also, what can you tell us about NECA's hamstring?
Yeah, no, I thought the energy overall was much better. It's hard to play 40 minutes of your best basketball. But I do think we put together longer stretches of good basketball tonight than we had in previous games. I thought the intentions were good. And we can continue to get better, but we did some really good things tonight on both ends that we can learn from as we move forward. I think NECA, probably from what I can gather, is probably day to day. We don't think it's severe in any way. NECA's, she's definitely gonna be fine, but we'll see, kind of how things are tomorrow before we speak to what her availability will be like on Friday. But if there's any chance at all that she's not as close to 100% as possible, we're just going to have to be really smart about whether we take any risk at all at this point in the season. But we're confident she'll be okay.
John W. Davis, Winsider.
Coach, if you were to be sitting on my side of this Zoom call and you were to analyze your rotation, what grade would you give yourself on how you were able to use the players that you had available tonight?
I'm a pretty hard grader, so especially when I'm grading myself. I think tonight, those fourth quarter situations when one team is ahead, like those are hard games to play in. It's hard to explain, but the other team is professional. They're getting beat by 20 plus points. They're not going to just lay down. You typically have groups of players out there that haven't played a lot of minutes together, so they're trying to figure things out. And so I think prior to that, I don't know. I thought tonight, with the change to the starting lineup, I thought that it really allowed our bench unit, especially Marie Bulich's contributions off the bench. And, I don't know. I say a B- or a C+. It wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't bad. I thought our bench really held it together for us in the first half and did some good things after the starters got up to a pretty decent start there.
Raymond Lyons made for the W.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Good win tonight.
Thank you.
Just wanted to ask, with Taya being out, she's kind of usually the defensive punch off the bench, and with you guys facing explosive guard and Kelsey Mitchell, what were the adjustments you made just to kind of contain her and make up for Taya's absence?
Yeah, no, your point is well taken. I do think that Taya is, her speed and the physicality, energy she plays the game with. We're hoping to be able to use that to strengthen our defense as we go along. But I thought tonight that, again, the way Sydney started the game on guarding the basketball against Julie Alleman was good. And I thought that Tierra Ruffin-Pratt really accepted the challenge as well of, playing the type of defense that her teammates have come to expect from her. And I thought she delivered tonight as well. And I think that helped get her offensive game going because she really stepped into that elite level defense that she's capable of playing. So it was a team effort, but I do think that Sid and TRP and Brittany Sykes as well, kind of by committee, tried to make things as difficult as possible for Kelsey Mitchell.
Last question for Coach tonight. We'll go back to Sabrina with SB Nation.
Hey there, just a couple things. It was so nice to see Marie out there today. I'm curious what you made of her defensive effort, and then just with her being back in the lineup, are you still planning on playing, small in that second unit with, 3 wings essentially, or does that sort of change your decision making?
Yeah, no, I was jokingly telling Marie that she's been sandbagging us the last week or so. If she looked like she'd been able to play for quite some time the way she played tonight. We could have used her a little earlier, but no, I think she, to her credit, she's been working so hard trying to put herself in position to come back and help her teammates. Like, she's felt really bad that she couldn't be available. She wasn't able to be here the first day to start camp, and just things that it's been difficult for her starting out. But I think her work ethic and her professionalism really showed tonight. In terms of, the rotations and the lineups that we can use, no, I think it gives us more versatility. She didn't necessarily shoot the ball well from the perimeter tonight, but she's capable of shooting the ball from mid-range, from the three-point line. And so I think with Maria, it allows us to play her next to a big, whether it's Candace, NECA, Rashonda, Christine, whoever, but also next to our smaller lineups. If we go with Simone or TRP at the 4, Marie's big enough to guard centers, but also versatile enough offensively that we can space the floor with her and do some different things. And so we're excited to have that. And we knew as soon as we made the trade with Atlanta that it wasn't just about Brittany Sykes. A lot of the things that Marie did tonight, we've seen those things in her from college and also in her brief career in the pros. And she showed a lot of it tonight, and we're hoping she can stay healthy and help us moving forward.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, everybody.
All right, media questions for Chelsea Gray. We'll start with Chris Camello.
Hey, Chelsea. Great game tonight. 16 points, 5 assists. Were you channeling your inner Chris Paul tonight, or what? Did you see what he did against the Lakers and say, hey, I got to go out and perform like that? Because you and Candace really set the tone tonight. Talk about your performance and your inner CP3, as I'm calling it.
No, we just wanted to come out with a lot of energy, a lot of fight on both ends of the floor. And we were aggressive. We were the aggressor coming out. And defensively, there were spurts where we looked really, really great. And then we'll have lulls, and they will come back in the game where they'll get drives into the tunnel. And those are the times in which we have to figure out, like, why is that happening? Why is it inconsistent? And then offensively, just getting into the paint, hunting the paint, but also either driving it or hitting our posts for post-ups. And that was our focus, just being able to be consistent offensively as well.
Miriam Swanson, LA Daily News.
Hey, Chelsea, congrats on the win. I wanted to ask about the pregame. You guys honored Sandra Bland. I wanted to kind of talk to you about that moment and just sort of your continual, efforts to sort of shine light on those things.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. It's another name that we're representing and, having that on our backs as we play this season. And the women's that suffered because of violence out there, police violence especially. So it's a lot bigger than us. And I think you're seeing that on the court. You're seeing the passion behind it. No matter if we're in the bubble, there's a world outside of that. Things are happening. So, create that awareness why everybody is watching is important. And if we just affect one person, we've done something. But, we have to reach far and beyond that. And I think that's, that's what's been our mindset coming into this season and during it, not losing the message. And, it's an unfortunate circumstance that happened to her. So.
Raymond Lyons made for the W.
Hey, Chelsea, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. You talked about kind of making plays when the Fever were making their pushes. Like, how do you kind of identify those momentum swings, and what's your thought process when you're trying to figure out how to stop that snowball from rolling downhill on you?
Just kind of having that communication and knowing, why things are happening. When the ball's getting in the tunnel, sometimes, it might be our pick and roll, we're not doing it as hard, or we're not communicating on the backside, and but also our rebounding. I'm not sure numbers. I think we might have tied rebounding wise, but when we're able to get stops and rebound and push, we're at our best. So I think that's been something we keep on talking about is rebounding. And that's been kind of our Achilles heel in the past, So just making sure that we're taking that part seriously and making sure that we're doing a good job on that end. And then offensively, making sure we're getting into the paint so we're not allowing them to get going in transition. And then we're on our heels all game. So making sure that we're having good attacks and balanced attacks.
Doug Feinberg, Associated Press.
Hey, Chelsea.
Hi.
Obviously, winning's the most important thing, but for you guys, just getting more consistent and playing the way you want to play, is that the secondary goal for you guys in these games?
Yeah, I think consistency is going to be key, especially with these games like this coming back to back to back and only a day break. So being able to be consistent no matter who we're playing, and it changes. Some other person's name going to be called, and we need them to step up. So just having consistency with that, whether you're starting, whether you're coming off the bench, and having that same level of intensity no matter what.
Last question for Chelsea, Sabrina Merchant, SB Nation.
Hey, Chelsea. How important is it for you guys when, Candace is starting off the game like that? Like, how does that feed into your energy and make you guys, reach another level?
She's great, I speak so highly of her all the time because of her IQ and the way she just wants to be the best. And when you have a teammate like that, it only makes your game elevate. And tonight she kept them on their heels, and she kept on attacking, whether it be with the ball in her hands, diving, but then defensively, like boxing out Tiara McCowan, like being able to bodies on that. And some of those, the guards have to come in because she's doing her work early and boxing her out, but guards have to come in and get those rebounds. But, that's what I expect out of her. She's the greatest, and to be able to do that consistently. But she kept them on her heels tonight, attacked the basket, got to the free throw line, but really was a force to be reckoned with, whether she was cutting, distributing, or just attacking the basket with the ball in her hands.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
For Candace Parker, we'll start with Christina Williams, Girls Talk Sports.
Hey, Candace, can you just talk about the shirt that you're wearing right now?
Yeah. It's unfortunate now when we're able to kind of keep track of facts and information, and then people make it political and then try to make it like we made it political. I think at a time now when we're confusing moral issues and everything is political, it's a problem. And voting is so important, and knowing what you're voting for is so important. And the shirt that we're wearing represents our moral values and what we stand for. And so I think it's so important for people to be informed and understand why we're wearing these shirts. And a lot of it has to do with a league as a whole and what we represent and, the way we live.
Doug Feinberg, Associated Press.
Hey, Ace, just to follow up on that a little bit, you spend time in Georgia, right, when you're doing TNT stuff, or am I wrong on that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're aware of the Georgia races a little bit, I'm guessing. I mean, how important is it? You're aware of the Georgia political race a little bit just because you spend time there. How important is it to have your guys' voices heard, not just to say, hey, go out and vote, but to actually say, hey, go out and vote for a candidate who you guys are supporting now?
I have mixed. I am huge on informing people to vote, but on this one, it becomes the moral in your values. We are a league that is 80% Black women, and a lot of the political agendas that she has, it doesn't represent who we are as a league. And so I think it's so important for people to understand, yes, we're saying vote, but just as quick as you can click on Instagram and go to Safari and figure out something about what's going on in entertainment, you could do the same thing for politics. And I think it's taken those into effect. And not just voting a party, but voting for morals and values and what that person stands for. And understanding that they're representing, they're representing your state. So it's so important.
John W. Davis.
Hey, Candace, quick question. So if you were to analyze this game, and I told you, I was tossing it to you and I said, oh yeah, there was this player named Candace Parker. She had 18 points and 11 rebounds today. She had this double-double. What would you say about her game? And if you were going to give her a little bit more advice, what would you say she could have done even better in this game?
That's a really good question, first and foremost. It's funny because I think sometimes as an analyst, it has helped me as a basketball player, because it's like, what would the halftime show say? And I think it's a lot about confidence. It's a lot about activity. I feel like our team is at our best, and I'm at my best when I'm active. And it doesn't necessarily mean scoring. It can mean facilitating and generating offense. It can mean generating the defense. But rebounding is huge in what we need to do. So I would say overall, a good start, but I'm not going to give credit until you're able to string some wins together. I mean, so far we've gone one, then we've lost focus and lost, and then won and lost and won and lost. So at some point, Candace has got to step up and lead and string two victories together.
Ryan Barnes, LASparks.com. Go ahead with the question.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. I think you're on mute.
Great. Hey, Candace. Tonight marks your 320th game with the Sparks, passing Mawadi Mabika to become third all-time in games played for the Sparks, trailing only Delisha Milton-Jones and Lisa Leslie. What's the legacy you feel like you've left behind, and what does it mean to you to be able to play this many games for one organization?
Well, boy, it goes fast. I think it's an honor to play for one jersey my entire career so far. Huge on loyalty, and loyalty goes both ways, and so I can't imagine playing for another team. Obviously, there's two legends in front of me, Lisa and Delisha, that have had just a huge influence on my career and the start and even now. And so it is LA is a special place, and I don't want to play anywhere else.
Last question for tonight, Miriam Swanson, LA Daily News.
Hey, Candace, congrats on the win. Just wondered how you guys reacted to the news about Taya and her inconclusive test, and just kind of like what you guys communicated with her in the meantime.
Honestly, I'm kind of more of this has happened a couple times. So at some point we got to get this together in terms of, because these are games that, I mean, Taya is huge with what we do. She's coming along great. She's playing well. So these are things that could hurt teams, And so I think for me, it's about just making sure that we're doing the testing the way that we need to. And, we're able to because we've had a couple inconclusive tests. And so obviously something's got to change for us to be able to go forward. And obviously we hope that everything turns out fine.
Thank you, Candace.
Can y'all just see what I deal with?